Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome back to another video with me, Janscend. And here on the channel, Janscending, right, we're going to chat about some stuff today in relation to basically meditation and going within, right, and how that can benefit one spiritually, right? Now, with this channel, you'll see a whole bunch of stuff that I'll be talking about, various religions and different stuff, relationships, spirituality in general. A lot of different things. But one of the things I just have observed in studying the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, the Book of the Spiritual Men, the Upanishads, the Vedas, various other Hindu texts, and basically Christian mysticism, let's say, the Kabbalah, various other different things, which I'll get into in time. But some of those things, right, are kind of classed as, oh, you shouldn't go there, you shouldn't read this, you shouldn't think about that, you shouldn't do that. And my thoughts and my philosophy on that, having studied many different texts over the years, is that one finds their own path when one is ready, and one will find their movement towards XYZ. They will find their way, right? And recently I was listening to a Jewish rabbi speaking about Hasidism, and basically, everything being spiritual. So not just one thing, like, oh, because I meditate or do yoga, I'm spiritual, or because I pray for 2 hours in a church every day, or because I go to mass, or because I go to the mosque, or because whatever that might be. That means I'm spiritual, and nothing could be further from the truth. Although those things may be spiritual in themselves and may bring one onto a spiritual path, or help one ascend or transcend where they are, for sure they can help do that, but it doesn't mean necessarily that the one that's doing that is necessarily spiritual, right? Although all of this might sound contradictory, I think that you might get what I'm saying, which is that spirituality can be anything. It can be eating a hamburger in McDonald's, right? It can be walking outside, going for a walk. When you are at peace with yourself, then the things that you thought that were spiritual, you realize many times are not, right? And again, I said everything is spiritual, but it really depends, right? The aspect of what you think is spiritual or what is not spiritual, at the end of the day, really comes down to what you think about it for yourself. Do you think it's spiritual? Okay, then maybe for you it is. But what might be spiritual for you might not be spiritual for somebody else. And at the end of the day, it really comes down to what you feel you should be doing, how you feel you should be living your life, and if you're living that in a way that is fitting to you, right? Now, my personal belief and opinion is that, and how I try to live daily, is I seek the divine love light that resides within me. So is that in relation to Hinduism? I don't know, right? Is there a lot of Hindu-esque stuff in relation to it? There is. Was it always that way, or did I learn from that and then practice it? No, I had that before I ever studied Hinduism. I had that before any of that. And for me, what it was that I was seeking within, looking within, because I used to always look outside. For example, the preacher would tell me, hey, this and this and that, God is here, God is there. And, the message of maybe, I guess not even the preacher, but different people in life telling me, yeah, God is in the clouds, God is here, God is there. And me thinking and being very afraid of this vengeful, destructive God that wanted to smite me down and crush me and send me to hell for all my sins, basically. What I realized was that is not my interpretation of God. My interpretation of God is a loving power. And that loving power resides within me. And that I can seek that power at any moment I choose to. And some of those things in relation to, let's say, alcohol, drug addiction, all of these different things, when one goes into a 12-step program and one reads through the AA Big Book, right? The literature, that the 12-step program, let's say, well, that was written in a certain way. And many people might argue, yeah, but, Bill W. was taking acid when he was writing the book, and they almost kicked him out of the fellowship and this and that. I'm not here to talk about any of that stuff. It's a really, really good book. It's very spiritual in nature, and it is written in a certain way to make you have a spiritual experience or a spiritual awakening, both meaning kind of something different, because a spiritual awakening is where you go through literature and you awaken slowly over time. You see your problems, you decide, oh wow, okay, I have a problem. And by learning this information, it breaks down a specific program that has been programmed within me, and it breaks down all these different things, and then a light emerges, and right, okay, now I'm awakening slowly to something greater, and thus therefore advancing more spiritually. Spiritual experience in the text is kind of, well, it's not. They don't say that, right? They say, yeah, it could be. They don't. This is. Don't take this the wrong way, but I'm taking this kind of out of context. It's not necessarily written in there. You're going to have a big bang flash of light, and wow, you've had a spiritual experience and stuff like that. Many people have spiritual experiences like that. Many people do ayahuasca trips or do this or that or plant medicine and have a major, overhaul. Some people don't do any of those things and they have a spiritual experience, boom, just like that, and it's a flash of light, or it's something, or it's, maybe someone appears to them in the form of a guru, and hey, they've had a spiritual experience and now they never need to touch any drug or alcohol or any substance or any of those things, something that was causing them severe pain. They never have to touch it ever again, having been a slave to that for many, many years. So can you say that, God is any one thing? I mean, I guess you can, if that's your belief, right? You can, of course, you can choose what you want, right? And they say within the program of recovery, that the 12-step program, choosing your own concept of God. You're choosing your own concept of God, right? I've heard people say, I found God in a bush, I found this, that. And many people will say that you go to rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous or whatever, and you find the power in the room. And yeah, that suffices for some time. But really, as you go deeper into, and I'm not going to get fully into 12-step programs and stuff in this one, but really as you go deeper into spirituality, you find that you're looking for something, or you're seeking, and you generally will find that if you search within, right? The kingdom of God is within you. Saint Teresa said that very, very well. She said basically about seek it within you, right? It's written in the Bible also, the kingdom of God is within you. And so it's written in many Hindu texts where or the Gita, where the scriptures were like Krishna saying, seek within, right? Seek within. And again, there are many different references to that. Saint Augustine said the same thing, like seeking within, right? I sought the Lord and found him within, right? So it's within. So it's all going inwards. It's not like outside, although in Jewish mysticism and stuff like that, they will say, you find God in everything. You find here, there, right? And so can it be both? I guess so, right? Omnipresent God, for sure. What do you see God in? How do you see God? How are you looking for God? How are you finding God? Hindus say, let's say, or any of you who practice yoga and stuff like that, namaste, I bow to the God in you, right? So I recognize the divine light that resides within you. I've known that since I was a child, intuitively, that there is a divine love light. That divine love light resides within me. I meditate and I seek that divine love light that resides within. I believe that it's as bright as the brightest sunshine on a day outside. When you see the sun in the sky, and it's the brightest light you've ever seen in your life, right? And it's blinding you. I believe that God, for me, is that divine light that resides within. That's so powerful that when I meditate on that divine light just goes, and it shoots out through me, through every cell and fiber of my being, completely healing and keeping everything exactly in that state, right? That's what I believe. And it's been working very well for me for years, right? I focus on that divine light, and I'm at peace, I'm healthy, I'm happy, I'm joyous, I'm free. Am I happy every single day? No, of course, because you go through times where you don't feel so well also, right? And that's coming back to divine love light within, meditating, seeking, asking. And I say a prayer. I say, please God, or divine love light that resides within me. I say, please help me to be an expression of your love to those I come into contact with on a daily basis. Please help me to be an expression of your love to those people. Help me to be an expression of your love to the people I come into contact with, so that I can help those people in and through your power, right? I could sit in a church all day, or I could go to mass 24/7, or I could go to a mosque or a temple or whatever and chant, and all these things are well and good. But if I come outside and my behavior is not reflective of what I've been practicing, what I've been learning, or what I've been taught, or what I could be teaching, then what am I doing? I'm a hypocrite. I'm like, I'm like a Pharisee. I'm like a hypocrite, right? Because I'm doing something that is not in line with what I'm preaching, or what I'm saying, where I'm saying these things. I'm saying, oh, this and this and that, and I'm going into this place and I'm praying and da 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 da, right, doing all these things. But I come out then and my rest of my week, like a Christian, for example. Christian goes to church, Sunday Christian preaching, yeah, this is great. Read the Word of God, getting all filled up, great, up high as a kite, all hyped up. Leaves the church and fucks the girlfriend out of it, or the fiance, or whatever, or goes back to the mom's house and throws a fit, or is violent towards somebody, or is out drinking again, or doing this and this and that, and looking for all sense enjoyment, right? Whereas, what did they learn? No, again, not condemning anybody. I'm just giving an example of that type of spirituality. Is, I guess, in a sense, quite toxic, really, isn't it? Because you're going to a place to get really high, and again, people can fall, right? They can fall. I'm not condemning anybody. I'm just saying, go to a church and you're banging on, you're doing this and this and that, and then you come outside and your behavior is totally off the wall. Well, the same thing can happen to any religion, right? You can be going into service and chanting and maha mantras all day long, but your behavior is not changed, and so you're still hurting those around you. And so what's the point in doing it? Really, it comes down to, and again, these things sometimes take time, of course. Sometimes the program is so built within a human being, or I'll say a human being, right? Sometimes the program's so built within them that the soul recognizes it, right? Your true self or your divine nature recognizes that, but can't remove it because they have to chip away at it, right? So goes to the church 4 or 5 times, comes back, does mental behavior, but someone tells them something, hey, listen, that's not really good, that's not really spiritual. And so when they come back the 6th time, maybe they just, don't react as much. So they're chipping away a little bit by little bit, and the program gets broken down. Eventually, what emerges is somebody who has now got a change program, who is maybe living with that divine love light in the day moment they're in, practicing it and helping other people, and then also elevating themselves, their energy, their frequency, their vibration, and the energy and frequency of the vibration of those around them. So, hope this is making sense. I'm just letting it kind of flow today. Just did a meditation a while ago. Was it a spectacular meditation? No, it wasn't. And some people say, hey, yeah, but they need to be spectacular. No, sometimes I sit there and my thoughts just go round and round and round. I just come back to the breath again, and back to the breath again, and back to the breath again. And there's various different meditations you can do, visualization, this, that. The main thing, I think, is consistency. If you can remain consistent and you can try and just keep remaining consistent, do a little bit every day, and, that's visible within somebody who does that every single day. If you look at somebody who's been meditating for the last 10 years, right, and they haven't really missed a day, let's say, because there are people like that, right, that haven't missed a day in 10 years, that person's going to be very different to be around. That person's energy, you feel that, right? There's something that happens when you put a little bit of something into something every single day, and that compounds over time. Boom, 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 boom. Eventually, what's going to happen is that person has a specific aura, they have a specific frequency. They are not reacting all of the time, although they may react at certain times. Generally, they're responding. They're not out in clubs. They're not in low frequency places. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with clubs. If that's your thing, forte, go for it. I'm not saying anything about that. Sometimes go to clubs myself also. It's nothing got to do with that. It's about, generally speaking, somebody who's meditating is in a high vibrational frequency tends to not be drawn to lower vibrational frequency places. And so the more you meditate, and for me, in my case, the more that I seek the divine love light that resides within, the more I tend to gravitate and be pulled towards, or magnetically drawn into, frequencies that align with that love light that align with my highest good, let's say. And of course, right, if you want to say, does God exist? If God exists, then God is complete love, right? They say in the Bible, God is love. So if that's a love, that's the highest frequency possible, right? So if you're residing within that frequency and it's the highest form and frequency possible, then when you're connecting to that piece of God that resides within you, that divine love light, when you're connecting to that and when you're meditating on that and when you're in that frequency and every single cell and fiber of your being is vibrating and dancing in that love light frequency, then what's going to happen is you're walking around the place and different energies that you see will be drawn into you or repelled from you, right? And this is just, this is common sense, right? It's as natural as anything. Your body is energy. Divine love light resides within you. You focus on that divine love light. The next thing, your whole frequency is bouncing in light. And so you're going to attract people of similar frequency and light. Not even sure what I'm going to title this video. Not that it matters, because there will be thousands of them. Many will say that, oh, what you're speaking about is New Age. I don't know anything about that, right? I don't study anything that, let's say, oh, this is New Age, this is occultish, this is occult sciences, this is Kabbalistic, this is that, this is that. I don't know, I just study everything, right? So I don't put any one label on anything. I look at it, it might be classed as, oh, this is New Age or the occult or whatever. Like, I look at things and I draw my own conclusion. Sometimes I'm careful about what I read, of course, because I'm aware of energies, etc., etc. But generally speaking, I'm not putting out a message that I'm telling you to do any one thing. I'm just merely stating what I do. My journey will be on this channel, how I've grown, what I've done, many different things, many substances that I used for the wrong reasons, many relationships that I got into for the wrong reasons, many things that I was seeking outside to fill a void within. And that's what basically Janscending is about, the channel as a whole. So there'll be a lot of talking, there'll be a lot of musing and just speaking about certain things, because at the end of the day, I have a voice, I have lots of valuable knowledge, and they say you cannot transmit something you have not got. This is very true. How are you going to help someone if you have not been through those specific things? How are you going to help somebody? You are not. You will not help somebody if you have not been through that which it is you want to help them with. It's impossible, right? You might be able to give some helping hand or something, but generally speaking, how are you going to tell me, for example, let's say you've never been through something, right? And I'm going through this thing and I'm like, I really need help. And I come to you and you say, yeah, well, you just do this, this, and this, but you have no idea. You have no clue. You haven't been there. You haven't felt that. You haven't dealt with it. You haven't dealt with the pain. You haven't overcome your traumas. You haven't released those traumas. And then you're giving information to somebody that you have not experienced. You don't know what you're talking about. So how then can you help someone? You cannot, is the answer to that question. Yeah, you can give them a cup of tea, or you can be, in some way sympathetic towards what they are feeling, but you don't know what they're feeling because you haven't been through it. Now, on the other hand, if you have been through that, now you are a light, a beacon of light to that person, and you may actually solve their problem if you're fully aware and you've actually really integrated the things that you needed to integrate, and you've really overcome those traumas that you had. You've released them, and now you've become much stronger. Well, then you are a beacon of light and you are a rock to that person that comes to you, because now you have the answers, generally speaking. Not always, but you're going to have a lot more answers than you would have had you not gone through that. So then therefore the person is drawn to you automatically, right? So people get attracted into what they need help with. So somebody's like, oh, I'm freaking out, this and this and that. But they really want to change. Their soul wants to change so much that they automatically, because that they feel that and they think about that, and they automatically attract in, that they pull into their vibration that which they need at that very time. And so when one person pulls another person in, they click. One person has the information to help the other person, they share it with them. It's almost like a chipping away of specific things. And if the person is willing to do it, even if because the person who wants the help will be generally wanting to change, but when it comes to that, one of two things will happen. Either they will do the work and raise the vibrational frequency and everything will work well, or they will procrastinate and not, and they will drift out again and not be able to heal. So just touching a little bit on energy there, on frequency, and on healing as a whole. So meditation, it's really good. Frequency, really good. Vibration, really good. This is a 20-minute video. There are many more on this channel. Please watch them here and here and here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, turn on the bell for notifications. There's not any one reason I'm doing these videos. The only reason I want to do these videos is not for some social media crazy following or whatever. It would be wonderful if that happens. But that is not the reason I want it to happen. Not for recognition. I don't need that. I have agencies, I have crypto, I do all these different things. This is not for profit. What this is to share the messages and the stuff that I've learned over the years, to put it out there, because I said that if I ever overcome XYZ, which I'll talk about in next videos, then I'll put it out there for other people to listen, to watch, and allow them to take what they want and leave the rest. You may take what you want from this video. You either accept it or reject it with your conscious or subconscious mind. You either take it into your consciousness and assimilate that which you need to assimilate by checking it in your conscious mind, bring it into the subconscious, and you assimilate it into your energy or being or whatever, and it helps you, or you reject it, you kick it out. And I highly, highly suggest and encourage you to kick out anything that I'm saying here. Kick it out. If it doesn't resonate with you, kick it out. If I don't resonate with you, that's great. That's not a problem. Hop on over to somebody who does resonate with you, because there's always a dog whistle, right? It was described to me one time by a lady who ran a fellowship. She said it's a dog whistle. Specific dogs respond to specific whistles. It's the same in life. Specific people respond to specific frequencies, and if something helps you, that's great. If it doesn't, that's okay too. You just move on. Peace, love, and light to you. See you in the next video, and hope you're having a great day.